Hey guys, and welcome back to Naturally Minded Sisters. Today we're talking about 9 reasons we chose home birth. Now, our number one reason we chose home birth will most likely not be your number one reason, but it is ours. Number one, it was normal to us. We grew up with our mom having her babies at home, and so home birth was just the way that babies came into the world. Our mom also worked alongside midwives as a birth assistant and doula for most of our lives. And even though we grew up with home birth being the normal way that babies came into the world, because of how mom raised us, she also encouraged us to not simply accept everything we knew without questioning it, but she also encouraged us to research and look into everything ourselves as well. And so after we both got pregnant for the first time, within 3 months of each other, and being 28 and 30, we had definitely done enough research to know that both of us wanted to have our babies at home. Number 2, excessive hospital interventions. Now, hospitals are a business, and so they need quick turnaround to make money. A lot of times, these interventions simply start with scheduling an induction instead of waiting for labor to occur naturally. Maybe Pitocin or Cervidil if you're already there and not progressing fast enough. And it's very common to see one intervention lead to another, epidurals, C-sections, etc. And just like with any medication, we all know that there are potential side effects for mom and baby. Also, less cervical checks equals less chance of infection for mom. And most midwives do not do unnecessary cervical checks and will ask you if you'd like one or not, whereas most hospitals will check you whether you want to be checked or not. Speaking from a personal experience on this one, no hospital or OB would have ever supported me through my natural labors. I was in labor for 47 and a half hours with my son, and if I thought that was long, nothing could prepare me for my 122-hour labor with my daughter. Hospitals simply do not have the time or support ready for these types of labors, and they definitely would have pushed interventions on me that I necessarily did not want. My body simply needed time to labor in order to get what I wanted, which were natural births. Number 3, comfort and convenience. There's nothing quite like after you have your baby, going to take a shower in your own shower, coming back to a freshly made bed that is your own, in your own house, with your own pillow, your own sheets, without having to drive anywhere. It was awesome. Again, my personal experience, I had a home birth with my son and a birth center birth with my daughter. So I know what it's like to birth at home and then birth at a birth center where you subsequently have to drive home after 4 to 6 hours postpartum. And with a hospital, you're 2 to 3 days usually postpartum before you even get home. Now, being in the comfort of your own home also means nobody's coming in to check on you constantly. You're not hearing, the regular hospital noises around you. It's just comfy and quiet. Birthing at home also allows for no chance of an accidental car birth. Number 4, make our own choices. We didn't want to be hooked up to machines and confined to a bed and stuck in a small room to give birth. If we wanted to walk around the yard, we could. If we wanted to be in a tub or a shower or on a ball, we could. If we wanted to eat or drink something, we could. Home birth allows you to be in whatever position you find yourself in to push your baby out, where in a hospital, they would prefer you to be laying on the bed so that they are comfortable and can easily catch your baby. My midwives were on their hands and knees, ready to catch my baby if that was the position that the baby was ready to come out in. There's just something more freeing about being able to make certain choices on your own to get the birth experience that you want. Number 5, choose our birth team. Hospitals have always had limits on how many people you can bring into the delivery room. And then, of course, after COVID, these limits became increasingly lower and lower, to the point where you were allowed one support person. My previous doula had to even go virtual because the hospitals wouldn't even allow doulas in. When you birth at home, you are able to have whoever you want there to support you and however many people you want there to be with you. A midwife, a birth assistant, a doula, a photographer, your spouse, your other children, your mom, your sister, whoever you want, no limits. Number 6, it can be cost effective. The cost effectiveness of a home birth is determined by a lot of things. Where you're located, whether or not you have insurance and which insurance you have, what your co-pays look like. Now for me, home birthing was very cost effective. However, for my sister Julie, it was not. And we were under the same military insurance. For us, it all came down to which states we were in or near at the time of our births. Now on average, an induced labor will cost more than just going into labor on your own. And a C-section costs more than a vaginal delivery. And of course, we all know that the more interventions that you have, the more likely you are to have a C-section. And right now, the national average for a birth in the United States in a hospital is around $18,865. And that's just for the birth, not 10 months of pre and postnatal care. The average cost of a home birth in the US right now is $4,400. Depending on your copays and coverages, home birth might end up being a cheaper way to birth. And if you have no insurance and are paying completely out of pocket, home birth would definitely be something that you'd want to look into, especially when you consider the fact that the money I paid to have my home birth included all of my prenatal appointments and 6 weeks of postpartum care in addition to the labor. Whereas a hospital birth does not include your prenatal appointments or your postnatal appointments. Number 7, white coat syndrome. Now, my husband has white coat syndrome, which is why this is one of the reasons why we would choose to home birth. If you don't know what white coat syndrome is, it's basically a condition where somebody has extreme anxiety that manifests in multiple physical ways about going to the doctor or to hospitals. So even if I hadn't grown up with home birth as being a normal option for me, I would definitely have researched home birth as an option to give birth simply because I knew that my number one support person would have been uncomfortable in a hospital setting. There are even some home birth midwives that do all of your prenatal appointments in your house. Julie had this with her second midwife. Number 8, global stats. It doesn't take long to do a few Google searches to see where the United States ranks on the mother and infant mortality rates worldwide. Iceland leads the world with the most midwives attending births per 1,000 live births. And they also happen to have the lowest mother and infant mortality rates in the world. In the United States, we rank 5th from the bottom in maternal mortality rates. The 4 other countries with worse maternal mortality rates than the US are Costa Rica, Mexico, Latvia, and Colombia. Number 9, no one has to wear a mask. Now, this was not a factor when I gave birth to my kids, and it wasn't a factor when Julie gave birth to her first 2 babies, but it did become a concern by the time that her third baby came around, about 8 months ago. Her local hospital, where they were stationed at the time, would have made her and her husband both wear masks during her labor. We have even had a few friends who had previous hospital births switch to home birth, and one of the reasons was that they were going to have to wear a mask and didn't want to. Thanks for watching our video, guys. We hope you enjoyed the 9 reasons we chose to home birth. But what are your reasons? Have you had a home birth? Are you thinking about having a home birth? And what would be some of the things that would make you want to have a home birth versus a hospital birth, or maybe even a birth center birth? Let us know in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, share it if you'd like, and please subscribe to our channel. We have more videos coming your way.